Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the According to West podcast. As always, we have DeLaw here.
We got DeLaw about to break sobriety in the building.
And you have me, Wes. I should be drinking, but I left everything upstairs.
You left everything upstairs?
Nah, and I gotta finish doing some yard work, so I don't want to go out there and maybe afterwards. I don't think no games come on tonight, so.
Well,
yeah.
I figured you wouldn't be interested in no games.
Y'all, the Pacers didn't even make it, so I don't even want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Hey, look, we knew we were going to have a bad season.
Oh, man.
So, I mean,
it's looking fat, man.
It's what it is. We put up a good fight. We got last place in front of the Wizards. I think the Wizards had the worst record.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that as a moral win. A moral win. Only because in the grand scheme of it, when we get Handbro back, we still got our team together, and we can get a number one draft pick to fill. We got number one draft pick to fill a vacant spot, whether it's a dominant big man down there that can protect the paint, or a really good two-way small forward.
Yeah, that's what y'all really need.
Because with them getting rid of Benedict, I mean, I was like, that's the future, but he gone. He out there in Clipperland.
Yeah. Why not the Knicks?
Well, the Pistons forced a game 7. If they can win, I think they got a better chance of beating the Knicks.
That's because well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't know Isaiah Stewart was that good of a defensive player.
Oh yeah, that dude is a beast on the defensive end.
I never knew that. I watched the full game because I was always catching highlights of of Detroit and shit. So I watched the full game the other night. I was like, "Oh shit, he really be balking shit out here."
Yeah. And look, and it makes him more dangerous now because he added a 3-point shot.
And don't he look slimmer? Don't he look slimmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? He is I'm not gonna say a Draymond.
Nah.
Because see, Draymond, I'm not gonna say he wants to be tough because I'm not gonna say he's not tough. Yeah. I'm not gonna say that he go out there really about it, but Draymond to me is not an Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart is like this generation's Charles Oakley.
Where Draymond wanted to be.
Where he wanted. So Draymond reminds me more of a untalented Charles Barkley.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you. I didn't know the untalented part, but I knew you was gonna say Charles Barkley. I knew you was gonna say that.
I mean, because I'm not gonna say, Charles will get into people, but Charles ain't really trying to get into with nobody. He just out there just to frustrate you.
Yeah.
I can't call him a Dennis Rodman because Dennis Rodman is very very athletic. Draymond to me is very unathletic. He can defend. He could defend lower tier people and some high elite people at his position. But when they were like, "Oh, he can guard the 5," when you saw clips of him guarding the 5, he was guarding like low level 5.
Yeah.
I said he gets exposed, just like when they kept saying LeBron could guard 1 through 5.
No, he can't.
They tried to put LeBron on David West when they played the Pacers in the playoffs, and David West gave him the work until they switched him off because Paul George was torching his ass. It's like, dude, you supposed to be this elite defender. You were getting torched by 2 people.
I think some people just have what I say is like, how they say freak athletes and stuff like that. With those freak athletes comes good control of their body. Like they can just kind of innately do what they need to do. Yeah. I ain't gonna say there's no talent in it. The talent develops and shit like that around that, but it's like, well, if I need to swap that ball, I'll figure out a way to swap that ball, even if I gotta duck my head under the backboard a little bit just to get to it. Yeah. I know how to do all that in real time. Don't know how I did it. I did it. Like that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, and I used to think Draymond was a decent player. I wasn't gonna say the best, but a decent player. But what really exposed him to
Biggest,
me,
what's his 2K rating?
too
Your
high.
your his no your personal 2K rating for him.
That's 72.
Oh,
72. And look, and that was his 2K rating, 2K. I want to say he got in the league in what 2K12 or whatever,
yeah,
2K13. That was
yeah.
his rating then. And I only say
Okay,
that
at his prime, what is his rating then? Still 72?
at the best, maybe an 81.
I was gonna say 85.
Nah, I couldn't give him an 85.
Shit.
At his prime, he was able to be covered up for his offensive stuff with Steph and Clay. When you really look at Draymond in his prime, when they were really praising him for being a walking triple double or whatever, and being able to do all these things, he was covered up on offense by those two
Mhm,
because they were dropping at least 40 to 50 of those points. He put
mhm,
up what he was putting up 10 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds.
mhm.
Okay. That and I'm not
That's
I'm
that's
not
gonna be.
saying I'm not saying that's
But
easy
if
feat.
you're it's not. But if you're for the assist, if your goal is to get it to one of them two motherfuckers,
You're gonna get 10 easily.
the internet needs your help once again.
Oh man.
Yeah, this
You
one's
know,
crazy.
I feel like Batman now. I'm gonna start saying I am Batman. You gonna have to put a little thing.
Batman.
Oh, I am Batman. Here we go.
So this lady wants to know if she is wrong for telling her ex-husband, fiance, that he's using a diamond from a ring that he once had in their marriage. Before you answer, this is what she says.
You knew what I was gonna say. No.
My, she not wrong. All right, listen to this. My ex-husband and I have been divorced for 2 years and separated for 4. During mediation, he wanted to he wanted the 2.5 carat diamond back from the engagement slash wedding ring he gave me, and I agreed. We co-parent our 2 kids relatively well, but overall, he terrifies me and can be vengeful. I hope he's nice. I hope he's nice to whatever partner he's with and treats them better than he did me. He recently got engaged to someone he's been dating only for 6 months. The kids have no idea had no idea he was going to propose. Why would I tell my kids? They've been living together for the,
Well,
for
you
the
gotta remember
past 3 months.
that he was probably already fucking her well beforehand. 6 months. Nah.
That's 6 months to you.
Yeah.
They've been living together for the past 3 months. The way I found out was through the kids, whereas I prefer to give co-parenting heads. I prefer to give co-parenting heads up on things that would impact the kids. My daughter voluntarily said that the diamond looks a lot like mine. It did have distinct occlusions. If I if I see his new fiance and confirm that the diamond is my old one, part of me wants to be like, dang girl, he used the same diamond. You deserve better. But then again, it will be a bit petty and could stir some unwanted contention. If I was in her shoes though, I would I would want to know. My inclination is that he wouldn't disclose that to her about the ring. What
she
would you do?
she wouldn't want no for real. I can tell you that now. I ain't even got to hear the whole thing. She wouldn't want
Oh, that
no.
was it. That is the whole thing. What would you do? That's what she's asking. Like, what should she do? What would you do?
Shit, what I do? I wouldn't give a fuck. You know why? Because if I'm her, hey, I already gave the ring back. You're not going to change the fact that she got engaged to the same ring that he gave me.
It's not even the same ring. It's just a diamond.
Ain't shit going to change. He's still going to be like, yeah, I gave that to that bitch, but she ain't with me now.
My whole thing is this shit sounds so it sounds so unbelievable, but it sounds so petty. Like your daughter just off the rip, like, yeah, it looks like the same diamond that you had. It's just like, how would you know?
She'd been better off saying that I told my daughter to spy on him because that's what it sounded like she really told her to do. Go spy
Mm.
on your daddy, make sure he ain't fucking no new bitches. And
But at the same time, if they've been divorced for 2 years and separated for 4.
that don't mean nothing.
No, yeah, I get that.
Flip that back.
But my whole thing is, even if that is the same diamond, it wasn't the same. I don't. Women are very particular about that. I can't say that I would care if I was in her shoes because I'm still thinking about it with my man brain. You know what I mean?
I mean, the only
I
thing
asked for the shit back though. You gave it back. Like, what does it even matter? That's what I'm saying. Let's just say aside from that, what does it even matter that I'm doing that? You gave it back. You gave it back. So let's just say I wanted to use that diamond with a whole nother cluster of diamonds. Well, diamonds on the band and some other shit. I get some custom made shit. I'm not allowed to do that. It's not even the same band.
she's just jealous. That's all that shit is. I mean, because I look at it the way I see it. I done gave you this. You done gave me this diamond back. All right, cool, whatever. We divorced. We co-parent. The fact that you're even worried about what my daughter said that I gave this woman is none of your business. It ain't none of the shit that you should be worried about. Right now, you should be worried about making sure that you find somebody that's going to go in and out your pussy right now.
No,
Because clearly you worried about what my dick is going in right now, and it shouldn't matter right now.
what's crazy is that she says, "Oh, he terrifies me and can be vengeful." So why would you feel like? I feel like that's a lie because why would you even ask for advice about like, yo, should I tell his new joint that, hey, that diamond is on your hand? That look like it's probably from my ring. I could tell. Like,
Because it
what
sounds
is the
like
point? It sounds like you still want him.
exactly that's what
That's
it
what
sounds
that
like.
sounds like.
Sound like you still want them. It sounds like you trying to fuck his shit up because you jealous that you couldn't find you nobody. The
It's just not
worst
her.
part is
It's just not her. It's just not her business. It's not her responsibility. You don't have to. You don't have to say anything at all. Actually,
at all. Really?
None of it pertains to you. Now, if you want to talk behind my back to your friends and your family and shit, you do so. You do so. But and what I gotta give you confirmation that I ain't use it, you're stirring up trouble because what if it's not even what it is?
Because look, if she wouldn't be so worried about it if she had somebody digging her out.
Yo, question for you. Let's reverse this a little bit to something that matters to us. With a new giant, PS5 just happened to be there and you over there and shit. And she's like, you know what? You can have this giant. I don't. And you don't, and she ain't give you no background information. The PS5 is just there. She's like, yo, this yours. When you over here, this yours. You're not gonna say, hey, so how you get a whole PS5 if you don't play video games? Or we gonna let that ride?
I've seen some strange things in my time. We'll just say this.
That already happened to you before?
Not to me. I wish somebody just gave me a random PS5 out of nowhere. I'm telling you, that would be amazing. A random PS5, shit. But no, I wouldn't ask no questions. Oh, you give me a PS5? All right. As long as nobody came over to ask me, how'd you get that PS5? I ain't worried about where the PS5 came from.
So I don't understand why that would matter to a woman though.
Because they're different than us. You gotta understand, they could be mad at us and we not even know. And to us, we're like, man, this is so peaceful in this motherfucker.
Yeah, don't do that, yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I've been able to watch the game. I've been able to do this, and this. She ain't asking me to do shit. And then you be like, yo, you all right? What's going on?
You can't realize I'm mad.
No, I did not.
I could not. It's been so peaceful in this motherfucker.
I did not. I apologize for not realizing that you hate me right now.
My real question is just, why you hate me?
Right.
What I do to your raggedy ass?
Oh yeah, she in the wrong for that. Like that shouldn't even be a question. Just stay out of his business. If y'all been co-parenting well, that's what you need in life.
Because
that's all you need in life. Nah,
she wants them back. That's what it boils down to. She want them back. And she wanted him back.
So here's the thing.
That he found him a new jank. She probably saw a picture of the motherfucker and was like, damn, she jock. He was like, how the fuck he get her? Like, I don't even look this damn good. I can guarantee you that.
I don't know what that is. It's just like at the end of the day, she comes off as petty. And probably that's not even gonna stop the young lady from marrying the dude.
Nope.
It might cause a little here and there shit, but if he's a real, if he's a real adult, I'm sure I'm sure he'll be able to spin it some type of way.
Oh yeah, because he probably already told
I
her
got the
that.
stone recut. I did this. I did that. Blah 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 blah.
I mean, what she also got to remember is that he more than likely,
And
you
you can't. How do you prove that? It's not even the same ring.
right, more than likely he probably didn't tell her, but he probably was like, yeah, I used to be married. She probably know the bitch crazy,
Yeah,
and he probably made her sound like she was the craziest motherfucker ever.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like he got really worried about nothing. If he laid the groundwork right, if he
Yo,
laid if he
speaking
laid
of
the
that,
groundwork right, he be Gucci.
speaking of laying the groundwork right, if you would ever in another alternate universe, if you was ever to get divorced and you're dating again, how much of your how much of your relationship your how much of your previous marriage do you discuss with the new person?
If we ain't got no kids, none.
But what if she asks?
If she asked, I'll tell her we've been married. I was married. Like if he
No, I ain't saying that. I'm saying like, what if she starts asking like, so how was she and why'd y'all break up and this and that and blah 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 blah.
well,
Well, like, what do you say? Do you say the real reasons, or do you give a very diplomatic train and just be like, look, ain't no lawsuits against none of us, or you know what I mean? Like the things you need to worry about, you can go search, but me and her good. We don't talk to each other. We on good terms. Or do you
uh,
actually go into detail? Because some guys and women go into detail and they be like, nah, I think he was the problem in all those situations, and I don't know if I want to continue the situation. Like, how would you approach that?
well, if I ain't got approaching, I ain't approaching that shit. I'll tell you that.
Most definitely. Most
If I
definitely.
ain't got to, but if I had to, so me and my wife don't have kids together. So if me and her got divorced, unless they ask specifically if I'm married, I wouldn't need to worry about it. Now, let's say they do ask if I've ever been married, then I'll tell them, yeah, we got married, but I would tell them the real reason. Now, here's the thing about the real reason. The real reason is subjective to who it happened to.
Well, listen, there's a what they say is a villain in everyone's story.
Yeah.
And
And I
sometimes
can
you're the
already
villain in
tell you,
somebody else's
I'm the
story.
villain
Yeah.
in my wife's story. I can tell you
Uh,
that. I can
yeah.
tell you that. I'm the villain in her story. So at the end of the day, you can, oh well, well, how I know you weren't the problem. Well, we're talking
Yeah.
about perspective. In my perspective, I was not the problem. In her perspective, I was the problem. That's two totally different perspectives of why we got divorced. Just like my wife asked me why me and Hawaii broke up. So when we came to Friendsgiving, she really hoped that she was really hoping she was there. And
Man, I was really hoping she wasn't.
I'm look, me too.
Oh man. Cause I was
Because
like, I ain't gonna know what I was gonna do. I was like, oh shit. Not that I had to do anything, but you know how that shit
yeah,
could go.
because she was like, well, why did who's gonna be? So the reason I asked D why who was gonna be there was because she asked me. I was like, well, who's gonna be there? He said, yeah, it's gonna be you. He said it's gonna be Wes, it's gonna be B, it's gonna be M, it's gonna be Hakeem, it's gonna be all of us there. And then he said Hawaii and the baby. I was like, you mean like my ex-girlfriend Hawaii? He's like, yeah, your ex-girlfriend. I was like, oh, okay. And this is why we were on our way. So it wasn't no
Oh shit, yeah, I was already on
we were
there.
already on our way.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk to her, see why she broke up with your ass. I said, well, tell me why she broke up. So I told her what my perspective was of what happened.
Yeah.
But that's all I can give because if you're the person that was broken up with, you can only go by what they tell you. And I'm like, well, she told me she never seen a successful marriage. She never seen this and blah, blah. She goes out, try to sabotage relationships when they get too serious, when they get real, blah, 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 whatever. That's all I know. So that's all I've been told. So in my head, I'm like, I hope that bitch ain't there. Because I don't want her back. Well, I broke up with him because of this, and this, and it goes down the line of all this shit. But knowing her, she might have been like,
Why would wifey ask that when that's been so long ago? That wasn't even your most recent one. You know what I mean? That's not even the
well,
most recent one.
because my wife is a therapist. She originally wanted to go to school for therapy.
Yeah, I got you.
We both work with kids. So when you work with kids, you become a counselor, you become a therapist, you become a pseudo parent, you become a lot.
You don't need that.
Same thing my mother told her, same thing our counselor told her was he don't need another parent. He needs a wife. And if you keep trying to parent him and be another parent or treat her like he's your son, then you're always gonna find something wrong with what he's doing because you expect him to be your husband, but you're treating him like a child. It's two totally different things. I'm like, like I told her, I said, I don't treat you like you my daughter or you my child. I treat you like you my wife. So I have expectations for you. But you over here acting like, well, you didn't do this, and you coming down on me like I'm your child. No, ma'am, I am not your child. You can easily, just like I talk to you, I don't raise my voice at you. I talk to you. I say, hey, babe, do you mind? Or this is something that bothered me that you did. You don't want. Well, well, why are you raising your voice right now? I didn't raise my voice to you.
Yeah.
Like, sit and talk to me. We finally got past a point where back when we were in counseling, to where we could talk and actually get these things out. We might not agree with each other, but we'll separate and come back and be like, all right, well, look, here's how I feel about it. Like hey, someday I'm just like, what is going on? So when she was like that, when she was like, I want to see what she gonna say, that was her fishing for other flaws in me. That's all that really was. It had nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
But knowing her, she wasn't going to talk to her.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to talk to her. And like, I was glad she didn't show up because that means I ain't have to worry about the shit. But still, she wasn't going.
Nah, you still got to worry about that being in the back of her head, not talking to her, but more or less like, how do I get more information? I feel like you're leaving something out.
Right.
Yeah, I could say.
But I mean, but you know what? Knowing Hawaii, she said. I mean, at the time, I just wasn't ready for that type of relationship. And
her answer might actually, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Her answer might actually surprise you because y'all was young. So hopefully, with anybody that is with time, you do some self reflecting, and the answer it might have been back then ain't the answer what it is now.
Yeah.
So it might have surprised. It might. That shit might have worked in your favor. You never know.
Yeah, it might have.
But that's a situation I ain't willing to see.
I ain't willing to. I don't want to find out.
I don't want to find out. I left the shit in the past. I don't even care.
Find out none of that.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yes, I'm glad you.
Yeah. I would say the way I probably approach it is the same way I approached the shit with my wife when she asked me about this shit. Because I'll tell her what I've learned from being with those women and how I was the problem in those situations. I can gladly do that because I feel like I'm not that guy no more. But like little particulars and going through I don't even remember most of the shit. So I can't do that. I can say, this is probably what happened. And from that, I learned this, and this, and it probably became too much, blah, 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 blah. So I'll probably give her some details as far as like how I could have been the villain in the situation, quote unquote. Now I would think like if a person for you, like, and you're not exhibiting those things, but you have exhibited them in the past, that they'll be like, you know what? I know it sounds kind of crazy what I'm about to say. Yes, I see what could happen, and he could still be that way, but can I manage that? And also, he tells me he wants to be better than that. Could I help him be better? Because it's going to be the same. Like I'm going to help you be better, but sometimes you get into situations where it's like the woman is like, you need to already be what I don't even see you as right now. So you're getting mad at something that I'm not, all the things that I'm not, because I've never even showed you what I was yet. Like what do you call it? The potential or whatever have you. You already working off of like, I'm already at the potential. And I'm like, sure, I just told you and I'm doing good. I'm rising to the occasion, but I'm right here and it's right here, but I'm in the middle. I ain't right here no more. I'm right here.
That's what I told my wife. I told her, I said, because we have these conversations pretty often, where especially when we watch TV shows or see other stuff. Yeah. Or I tell her I was talking to somebody that does an inventory.
Yeah.
Because apparently all the inventory people in our building are women. So I end up having to talk to them all the time.
How'd that happen?
And I always, every time I'd be like, they would tell me about this, and this. Well, so it's always. So I met this guy, this is and this, but I didn't feel like he was husband material because he didn't display this, and this. I said, oh, okay. Well, that sucks. Well, do you cook? Well, I mean, I cook for someone who's worth it. I said, well, that's why you're still single. But where's your inventory? That's how I always all our conversations. I always end with, but where's your inventory? Because it's one of those things. I don't want her to think I'm just out here talking to random bitches.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I let her know, like, yeah, I get it because you work with these people and they talk to you. You're the person who's emailing them. Besides their boss, you're the next person that's emailing that's outside their unit. So yeah, a lot of times they do talk to me.
yeah.
But and I thought I said, there's this disconnect between men and women, whether it's black women, black men, white men, white, or maybe that. We'll strictly stick with black.
No, I'm just not stick with all of them because we need to put out there that it's not it's not really a race thing.
It's
It's a
not a
certain
race.
type. It's a certain type of woman
Yeah.
thing. Because I've heard these things from certain other men of different races. Now
Yeah,
their things are different, but it's still some shit that I'm
it's still
like,
the same
oh,
shit.
y'all don't be fucking with that like that. And I'll be like, okay, I get it. It ain't just ours.
Yeah.
It's all of it's
I'm,
all
I'm
of 'em.
and I'm looking at strict because I've heard some white chicks like, oh yeah, when I meet a guy, I cook. If I cook for me and I date a guy, then I'll invite him over to have some food if I have enough, blah blah. But then I hear a black chick, well, unless he worth it and show me husband qualities, I ain't cooking for him. I'm like, well, they're like, well, did your wife cook for you when you first met her? I was like, yeah, she had a whole son. Like, so she just gonna up and just say, come over, have food, cook, and not offer me nothing, tell me go get food on the way. That's a surefire way to get me be like, well, what the fuck am I come over here for?
That's a surefire way to pick for you to put my jacket back on and
Right.
head back out. I got
Look,
something to
because
do.
look, this way back. Oh, okay, you want me to get food? You know what? I really wanted some green turtle. All right, I'll be back and text you. Hey, well, I ain't gonna make it back. It's a little late, and they still working on my food, so I just hit you up tomorrow. That's a surefire way to have your man not coming home. Like,
Yeah.
and I told, and when my wife was going through this thing of, well, I'm not gonna cook for nobody. I'm only gonna buy food for myself. And I said, okay, cool. And so we talked about it because she was like, well, you can have some of the food that I brought. She did the Hello Fresh thing for like a week or whatever.
Yeah, shit
And
expensive, ain't it?
yeah, and then I didn't realize that was the other thing that you missed. So we did Hello Fresh for a week, and so she
Yeah.
sent me the thing of,
Y'all
yeah,
got the
you should
coupon
do
and
Hello
y'all got
Fresh,
the
and you get the free whatever.
yeah.
And I said, all right, bet. So I tried to do it, not realizing Hello Fresh has a real strict, and whoever does their coding is amazing
Yeah.
because the coding on their website, if the website matches, if your address matches whoever gave you the thing, it doesn't go through. It
Yep.
says that you already have an account because
Yep.
they don't do the accounts by people, they do the accounts by
The
address.
address, yeah.
And I was like, oh, and I was like,
You ain't getting no free food in this bitch.
right. And so I told her, I was like, I'm tempted to use the person's address next to us.
It's just still off their thing.
Yeah, well,
It's
it's
y'all's because but it has your name on it. You could just be like, they just keep getting it wrong because it has y'all name on it.
right. But I was thinking about doing that, like having it delivered to the person next to us.
Mhm.
And then, but
How long you gonna be able to do that?
to make sure that I was home that day
Mhm.
so that when it got delivered, I could run over there and go get it.
Yeah.
I didn't want it delivered on like a Monday and it just be sitting out there.
Yeah.
Or a Tuesday, and I text my wife, hey, the food there. She's like, okay, yeah, I'll go get it. And next thing you know, I pull up at 5 something
And the
and it's
food's
still
still out
sitting
there.
up there.
Yeah.
I knew the day that I was going to be there. So I
Yeah.
was like, I could do that, but it's a risk that comes with it.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I thought about, I was like, I could, and I could just wait and wait and wait. But who's to say that I was going to be paying attention when it got delivered, or if it said it was delivered? So I had to be looking, like I had to go outside on the front porch, like, oh shit, there's my package. Let me go get it. Run up and go get it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do all that. It's no need. But it was only gonna cost me like $20 for 5 days. So I was like, shit, and I could.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm thinking about it still, but if I do it, I gotta use a different address, and that's why I was like, it's like, you know what, that's a little much.
So,
But
so she said you could have some of her food.
yeah, still I have some more food. And so then we got to this conversation. I was like, well, look, I look at it from the perspective of this. Once a woman tells her husband, who she took vows with, that she was going to have and to hold and all the other shit, and you say, I'm no longer cooking for you.
what do you expect your husband to do? Do you expect your husband to be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna just starve? No, he's gonna go out.
Yeah.
The first couple of days, he might just go get fast food. Every day after that, he might be sitting at a bar.
I still don't understand how y'all just be getting into these situations. Every time you say something, I'm like, man, it's just so petty. And then you take it, and then you take it a step further, and I just be like, yo, come on, man.
The way we get into these conversations is just off of. So a lot of times when she gets in her moods, it's not at me. So you remember years ago when we were recording, I'm not gonna say years, it was after I got married, about catching strays.
Yeah.
That's what I be catching. I be catching strays. So she be like, oh, well, my son pissed me off and this, and this. And you know what? Since he won't be selfish, I'm gonna be selfish. And that goes for you too. How the fuck I get lumped?
That goes for you too. And you like, yo.
Like what?
Wow.
And then she'll be like, well, you be selfish too because you be doing this, and this. And when I be thinking about it, I be like, so wait. You mad because I'll come home and I'll play video games over spending time with you? That's not me being selfish. That's me decompressing. That's two totally different things. The selfish you're talking about your son was the fact that he asks you for money all the time. He wants you to cook his food. He wants you to do all these things for him. I don't ask you to do shit for me. How am I?
You know what that sounds?
Selfish with an hour of my time.
You know what that sounds like? Respectfully speaking, you know what that sounds like? You see him running me through the ringer, and you just not going to make me feel good. And it's just kind of like, well, you also need to stop doing those things.
Hey, look. I
know you said it. This is a conversation you already had.
This. I done said it to her when I tried to help. When I tried to, and you felt it, and that's when I realized, even though me and her, if I can get her pregnant, or we get in vitro, or we get a surrogate, however we have to do it. Mind you, I had to be a millionaire at this point, so that means we got to get found by Netflix, like Murder with My Husband, and get on there. We got to do, we got to do all that. But that's neither here nor there. But our parenting styles are different, and I told her, I said, at some point, what really divides men and women when they're parenting is that at some point the opposite sex of the child has to at some point let the same sex do their thing.
Ding, 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 ding. I talk about this with everybody. I'm like, because sometimes I'm just interjected into situations or conversations, and I'm like, yo, when the boy hits 13, the dad really should be taking over. Sometimes a little before that. And I'm not saying the mom has no say-so. It's just one of those.
Well before that.
That's why I said.
And I would say, and I think
the mom is my bad.
I think this is where a lot of men miss it at is they're so busy saying, hey, go ask your mom, go ask your mom, go ask your mom. They don't show up to the games. They don't really show up to a lot of the events. They don't show up to a lot of stuff. So a lot of times you only see the moms. Like mind you, I've been in the education field and coaching for a long time. Ask me how many dads I done seen versus moms.
2.
3. And I've been coaching for like 8 years. All right.
Yeah,
and periodically I'll see an uncle. You know what I'm saying? But mom is the one doing all the stuff. So I get, mom wanted to be, well, I put him in this sport, I put him in this sport, but let's say I'm involved. The issue that me and her always have had is about discipline. Now, I'm not talking about spanking or beating.
No, having discipline as a young man. I get that. I get that.
So when he was like, I don't want to play football no more mid-season playing for high school because they're not giving me no playing time. Well, what are you doing to get playing time? That's a dad thing.
Yeah.
What are you doing to get playing time? Well, I go to practice. Going to practice doesn't get you playing time.
Yeah.
Are you talking to the coach to find out what you can do differently? Are you giving extra effort? Are you putting in extra reps after practice? Are you showing the practice even early?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, in his case, are you even fucking going to practice?
It's because he wasn't going to practice.
Like when he transferred schools from Glenburn, North County, and he missed the scrimmage and didn't tell the coach. He was like, "Yeah, I had a scrimmage today. It's his birthday," and I get it.
No,
He's
I
like, "Oh,
don't.
well, it's a scrimmage."
You're a kid.
Well, look, he said, "Is a scrimmage?" I said, "Well, what time was the scrimmage?" "Oh, it was at 8:00." Nigga, we didn't leave the house until 10:30. You could have went to the scrimmage. Well, it's my birthday. I ain't want to go. And I looked back into the back seat of the car. I said, "Don't be surprised if you don't play at all this season." Guess what? Down by 40, down by 40. At least Glenn Burney, if they were winning by 40 or down by 40, he got in the game. That coach kept his ass on the bench.
Damn.
And guess why? It wasn't because he didn't want to see what you could do. Number one, you were a 10th grader. So that means you should be more advanced than where you are right now, and you're not.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're not even whatever, it is what it is. The second thing is you didn't care about the team enough to come to the game.
Yeah.
That's only something that a dad can show because mom is always going to show. And no disrespect to none of the moms.
They in protection mode. Like he ain't gotta do that.
Right. Now, I will say this: there's anomalies of moms. My mom wasn't like that. If I signed up for that shit,
yeah, my mom wasn't like that either.
best to be fucking going because she already paid the goddamn money to go. You going to the goddamn game. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if the coach don't play you. You're gonna be on that goddamn sideline.
Yeah. At least you ain't dirty for your birthday. Like that.
You know what I'm saying? It just depends. And mind you, for football, when I played football my 1 year, my mom didn't really want me to play football. I played football because one of my friends was playing, so I played, and I was decent at it.
Yeah.
As far as AAA was concerned, I was nowhere close to those AAA guys.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that experience. But when I played AA, I was a beast.
Yeah.
Because you got a basketball player who has an eye for a hand-eye coordination, who has good footwork, can get low, can get big, who can move their feet. Yeah, you got a talent on your hand. But in AAA,
it's a whole other situation.
It's a whole other situation. These guys been playing.
Yeah.
So imagine you play basketball. The most contact you get is a random foul.
Yeah.
You telling me I gotta tackle somebody
or play through a tackle?
Play right.
Yeah.
So I would say AA or B team, whatever I played, it was fine for me. But then I didn't make weight, so I had to go to 85 AAA. But 85 AAA, those guys were my size, and I was small. But I told them, I said, "Look, give me the ball." I said, "Put me at running back. Give me the ball. Let me get used to what's going on here." But they never really gave me that opportunity. They never really gave me that opportunity. I showed, and like I told somebody else, I was talking to them not too long ago. I always gave flashes that I was way better than what they were using me. Like they were like, "Well, we can use your kick returns," and I would do kick returns in practice, and I would run it back on the team at least 60% of the time. I would run it back, like, boom, get it, and just do the whole thing. And they'd be like, "Hey, this is for coverage practice. We need you to." So not only that, y'all trying to help the coverage team. So you tell me our coverage team is that bad that I'm dogging them?
Yeah, no.
And it was like, one time they ran a screenplay. They didn't tell nobody it was a screenplay. I just so happened to look and be like, "This looks like a screenplay." So I jumped it, got the interception. Hey, we're in practice. No, we're trying to get. So not only are you not utilizing me right, you're also trying to dumb me down. Like, get the fuck out of here. No wonder we lost every game that season when I was 85 AAA. But I mean, moms and a lot of moms, you run into like 2 or 3 different moms, especially when coaching. Run into the moms where he doesn't want to do it no more and he feels this type of way, so I'm not going to force him to do it. That's my wife. Yeah. I'm not going to force him to go play if he doesn't want to play. Oh, he, especially for shit she paid when he's playing like little leagues. You just paid all this money and he don't want to go to practice. He's the one to go to the games and get his 5 plays. That should have told you already that
he needs some discipline.
Right. No. Then you got the moms who they're a little overly involved because they think they the nigga. And he over here, he's soft. He's soft. I told him, stop letting the motherfuckers put their dick in your mouth. I'm like,
whoa. I'm not even talking to my son like that.
well, that's a little intense, but that's what she thinks that if she thinks that's how we talk to our sons,
nah.
Clearly, mind you, and she was married with her husband who comes to the games. So I'm like, there's no way that you really thought your husband said that to your son. That's just how you think that you can motivate him.
Yeah.
And then you got those other ones where they're just really just there to have the kids in a sport. And if
well, that's fine.
That's fine. Hey, coach, here he is. He didn't want to come, but I brought him.
Yeah.
I'll be back in an hour.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna be over here.
The game be going on. Hey, coach. Hey, I'm gonna be out in the parking lot. Send them out whenever the game's over.
Right.
You got
right.
You got so it's like, hey, look, like, oh, yo, he cries all the time about he doesn't like playing for you. As long as you ain't beating the shit out of him, I don't really give a shit. Like, it's like, all right, shit.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
But it amazes me sometimes just to see the frustration that these moms get when they have these sons.
Their own doing sometimes, but to their credit, if they are a single mom, they don't know no other way to be. And I get it.
But here's the thing: these are also with moms that are married.
Yeah,
to the husband of the child.
It's some of the it's the husband / dad's fault too, because it's one of those things like he was saying. You gotta be more vocal in that situation and be more present in that situation and make her see that, yo, if you like the man that I am, then let me have a little bit more say so in the upbringing of our son. It's simple as that. If you feel like I ain't gonna show him, I ain't gonna lead him astray. He's gonna have discipline because I got discipline. He's gonna be not just like me, but you get what I mean. Like, I'm gonna give him that foundation. Then you gotta let me do it.
Gotta let me do it.
And if you don't let me do it, now me and you gonna have a problem because I'm like, how you see me?
Right, because you married me, but you won't let me raise him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like make that make sense. You want him to be the man that you married, then you gotta let me parent. Like, I get it, things change, but if every time he comes to you says, "Mom, Dad's being mean and he won't let me quit football," and I tell you, stay out of this. This is me grooming him to be the man that he's going to need to be. And you're like, "Well, no, I'm not going to let you do that to my baby." Then clearly, you think you're the nigga of this relationship. So therefore, how about you take care of everything? Go ahead. Well, why aren't you doing this with your son? Because when I tried, you sat here and told me I was being wrong. And at some point, moms just had to realize raising men ain't pretty.
No, it's not.
It ain't pretty. It ain't for I guess for the women. It ain't for the weak at heart, because you gotta be like, let me step back and let him do his job.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you don't, you got my son, my stepson. Yeah. You got him, who we got on a plane, and the lady said, and they said, put your phone in airplane mode. He doesn't put his phone in airplane mode. Then he don't have on headphones, and he on a plane with his stuff going on. The lady, excuse me, for the courtesy of everyone else, can you please? You have to turn it all the way off and turn the volume all the way down and put on your headphones. And so he turns it down a little bit, thinking, I'm like, that is nowhere close to all the way off. And so I told him, I said, you need some headphones, because, let's say it wasn't the flight attendant that said anything to you.
It was nigga behind you.
Somebody in front of you, behind you.
Yeah.
And they get real rude and nasty. Well, I got rude and nasty with them. I said, well, you're also 18 years old, so me and your mother ain't there to protect you if they knock your ass out.
Yeah.
Those I was like, because I got mean. I said, well, here you go. I said, no. I said, if you did that, who's there to protect you? I ain't fighting for you when
you're in the wrong.
Said put your stuff in airplane mode and put your headphones in.
Yeah.
So it's either you can got mean and nasty all you want, and then you get rowdy, Guess who's pulling up on you? The air marshal.
Air marshal.
Who's sitting on that flight too, who no one knows who he is. You just on there, he's just like, God damn, who the fuck is this? Hey, come with me. Now you got a whole different issue on your hands.
And I would have been like, and me and your mom still going.
Yeah.
You gonna have to figure that out.
And I'm like, but this is what I tell you. You all these things are you babying him thinking that it's okay to speak up and do this. I'm not saying it's okay to speak up, but it's better for him to follow the rules. They say put your phone in airplane mode, put it in airplane mode. Like it's not a federal law that it's not a federal offense to not have your phone in airplane mode. It becomes a federal offense that you've been told to put your phone in airplane mode, and they see it and they ask you again and you don't do it. Now you coming across federal offenses.
Yeah.
But it's not a federal offense to not have your phone in airplane mode on a flight. So even though we told them like, oh, it's a crime, we knew it really wasn't. But it only becomes it becomes a crime once they told you lose it.
At the point that you got to say that to an 18-year-old man boy, you didn't already lost. I shouldn't have to even lie to you that it's a federal offense. They said these are the rules. These are the rules. And it's only temporary, and it's until the flight is off. Until you get home, like wherever you're going, you know what I mean. Until the flight has landed, like,
and they give you,
okay.
They give you movies and stuff. As long as you go on their little whatever website,
I don't ever do that.
Well, the funny part is even if you can't get onto the Wi-Fi, if you're on their site, the movie's still playing on your phone anyway. In airplane.
It's a localized
it's a local
connection.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So you can still watch movies. You just got to put your headphones in. But he want to watch his YouTube videos and whatever. I'm like,
then download the videos beforehand, like I do, and use my headphones.
Cause see what I do is so with T-Mobile we get free Wi-Fi on planes because apparently T-Mobile is taking over and they are sponsoring all these flights.
Nah, Starlink is, I think, and I think they got I think they were the first company with
Starlink.
To use the company as a backup service, satellite service or whatever have you. So it might just be some promotion where since they're doing that,
because they was like, go through if you have T-Mobile, go through their website, but it for T-Mobile it's a partnership.
Yeah.
You have to sign in on the rapid rewards, or you have to sign in to do the Delta flight reward. You have to do that because it's a partnership. Ain't nobody doing this shit if they ain't getting no bread from it. And so, and I'm just like, and I told my wife, I said, I don't know if I can fly with this little nigga no more. And it was, and I'm glad his cousin said because his cousin lived out there, or her cousin lives out there, and he was trying to articulate something. He was like, "Mom, what's the difference between scheduled and express?" And so, and I look, and I'm like, I know I can't say shit because she gonna be like, "You always mean to him." So his cousin says, "Nigga."
Exactly.
Scheduled means you're planning for it. Express means you want it now. Did you not pass English? I was like, thank you, somebody.
Yeah, but if you say it's 2-on-1.
Right, it's 2-on-1. You just being an asshole. But I'm like, this is the shit. And I wanted to say, like, this is the shit I be talking about. How things that are common. Look, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not the best with words. Math is my thing. Numbers
but he out of school though. It doesn't matter.
He out of school. So like when we were in like a presentation for the Jank, they were saying words I had no clue. So I what does that word mean? Not, Ma, what's the difference between express and schedule? What? Like, come on. Like express, like, come on. Like, let's use it. But it's stuff like that. It's like, Mom, what's this mean? Mom, what's this mean? What? And I try to tell her when we first started dating and when we first got married, I said, I don't think he really knows this shit. And I think he's been passed along so long that really he is well behind where I was at 18. Well, I mean, where he is at
when you said that to her, what was she saying?
Well, everybody can't be like you, and well, look at how you are. Your parents were strict on you, and you don't even have a good. I'm like, what? I said, and I looked at her because my mom had called me not too long ago, apologizing to me that I'm sorry that I wasn't a nurturing mom. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, mom?
Yeah, I think
And
I'm about to go through that same situation with my mom pretty soon.
I was
Because
like,
me and her been talking about some things or not talking about some things. So
Mom, I said, you gotta look at it from my perspective. If you were like your sisters, besides Aunt Angela, maybe, I don't know. You gotta look at it from perspective. You would have no money. I said, because your husband asks you for money all the time because of his upbringing and him being a real estate agent. I always have money or whatever. He laziness.
yeah,
And your daughter who asks you for money, you pay some of her bills, but your son, your oldest son, asks you for nothing. Nothing. I don't. The only thing I've ever asked my mother for
the house stuff.
after I started working.
Yeah,
I would say before I started working. After I started working, there was two things. Two things I never told my mother to say. So my Nissan Altima that I got after I crashed my Impala, she took on the bill for that and the insurance for that car. I paid nothing on that car. She paid it. It came out of her check. The other thing was the 10 grand she gave us to get into this house.
yeah,
The only two things. Now, mind you, the Nissan Altima was a 7-year thing. Okay.
yeah.
It was a 7-year thing, but I had the car for 10 years and she didn't have to do anything with that car. The last thing she had to do for me was the 10K. But I guess if you look at it in retrospect, my mom has given me $27,000 my whole life. Okay. I'm 40 years old now. I've been independent, not asking my mom for money since I was about 15. So you're looking at about 25 years and some change that I haven't asked my mother for a dime, except for the fact that I couldn't pay a car note because I had my old car note from my Impala that I hadn't paid off.
Yeah.
And we needed the money to move into this house. So you're looking at of 25 years, 8 years that my mom has given me money or paid something for me consistently. And that's about $1,000. That's less than $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
My stepfather and my sister asked me for.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
It's a good run.
yeah. Like my mother has asked me for more money than I've ever asked her for. Hey, I'm short about $600. Because I had to pay this, and this for your father. And, your sister needed this. Da, da, da. Do you mind if I hold 600 and I'll give it back? All right. Send her 600, and she'll send it back about 2 weeks. So, of anybody, she knows she could always ask me. Now I'm married, and she know I ain't got no money. She don't ask me. The grand scheme of it,
Yeah.
But I was like, and my sister said the same thing to her because she's like, yeah, Rachel said the same thing where like, yeah, Mom, I wouldn't be as independent as I am now. And I kind of scratched my head like, if she asked you to pay something, ain't that damn independent. But my sister,
I think what your mom was saying that she recognized there was a somewhat of an imbalance on what she was doing. Not that she wasn't, because I believe that you should have some strictness and some discipline, right? But maybe she felt like, yo, I didn't do enough of the nurturing part either. Like there was an imbalance. And I think a lot of parents see that when they get older, like, well, damn. That's why they always so good with the grandkids. Because they realize, like, shit, this is how I should have been being. And I didn't know to be that way. I was just making sure the motherfucker stayed alive, he had a roof over his head, and I kept him out of trouble.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents probably go into the situation thinking that's what it needs to be. Now, on the other end of that,
a second chance at parenting is the grandkids are like, oh, okay, now all the stuff I didn't get to do, now I can spoil this kid. And all right, y'all take them back.
Yeah. Because I know y'all gonna give them the discipline. Now, on the other hand of that, sometimes the mom goes overboard with the nurturing, and it's like what you said, like they ain't gotta do that if they don't want to, or they ask for some food, and even though they already made food, I'm gonna go get them the food that they actually want, or this, and that, and you be raising little monsters and terrors. Like that happens too. Men do that too. Men specifically do that with their daughters, a lot of them. So it's like, I get it. I just hope that I'm not that type of parent. Well, I already know what it is, so it's just like, yo, I'm gonna work on myself to not be that type of parent. I'm gonna try to give the best balance that I can give. Like, you definitely give your sons love, you also give them discipline. You definitely give your daughters love, you give them discipline. Those discipline parts are two different things, though. From a man to a daughter, and from a son, from a man to a son, father to a son, father to a daughter. Two different things, two different avenues, but discipline is needed in both, and love is needed in both. And that's what I hope that I lead with when it comes to that situation. Because there's ways that you need your daughter to be disciplined. From a man's standpoint.
Right. Yeah.
And there is ways that you need your son to be disciplined. So
I know my niece. So my niece, and maybe you can help her here. Maybe you can help her here.
maybe.
So my niece is a single mother with an 8-year-old son. She just turned 30. And she's finding it hard to date.
Yeah, of course. It will be.
She in the message she sent me, because she asked me, she said, what is it like? What is it like for me to have a stepson? And in my experience of being the single mother, I feel like men are hesitant in getting to know me because of the thought of having a stepson. And also, yeah, I can feel, oh, that's something. But how do pretty much what was my experience? I told her, I said, hey, here's my experience. But I was like, you know what? If we recorded, what would be your advice for her as far as a single mother who's dating? Because with the advice that I gave her, and I said it, and I told her, I said it just depends on the person. If your son's your only major concern, if he's bad, if he doesn't listen, if you're not open to having someone else discipline your child or having outside criticism, you might as well wait till he's 18. Because those are all the things that men look at. Well, your son just kicked me, or your son, he's bad. And you just say, oh, it's okay, babe. You're exhibiting, let me coddle him versus let a man come in and help me. And I also put at the very end of it that, are you going to let the man you date or marry help you raise him? Because if that's not the case, it's going to be hard for you to date.
Yeah, I would say add this to that. Like, of course, every man that gets into a situation like that, or they're thinking of those things that you just said, that's always going to be front and center. What she can do to make sure, and she should go into the mindset of thinking every man will think this. Not even if he say he not, there will come a time, and he might not be at that moment, but there will come a time where he does.
Time that he does.
So to get ahead of that, I would say you should probably also say to her, like, yo, keep that in the forefront of your mind. Also, you're gonna have to work twice as hard because you don't have if the other parent is not available. If you don't have the other parent available, you're gonna have to work twice as hard. So that is not a thing that counts you out. That means making sure your son is disciplined from you. You instill the discipline because this guy isn't here yet. There's no guy yet.
No guy.
You have to instill the discipline. You have to instill the scheduling. You have to instill his behavior, his manners, and all those things. And once you get that in order, if it is in order, kids are still gonna be kids. They're still gonna fuck up. They're still gonna do dumb shit. You still have to kind of go not above and beyond, but you have to also put in the mindset of you're gonna have to put both of them. You're definitely gonna take care of your son and stuff like that. You're gonna cater to his needs. You also have to cater to that man's needs. He's not gonna see it no other way.
Right.
Because as a man, you expect like, yo, that's your son or your daughter. You're gonna be doing certain things, this, and that. They don't want to feel left out or you don't have time for them. If you feel like you ain't gonna have time for them, it ain't gonna work. Might work for a little bit, ain't gonna work long term.
Oh no, not at all.
So it's just one of those things. She has to be extra vigilant diligent. She has to be extra diligent and being on her P's and Q's when it comes to the rearing. And I would say, if you feel like this is a man that you love and trust and stuff like that, you like his how you going about him, how he's going about things, and what he's purposeful. You're gonna have to let him help because that's the only way that's gonna work. And I'm not saying like just mainly with the discipline. You have to let him help with the insight, the guidance, the stuff like that, the stuff that you're not gonna be able to do, not because you're not capable, because you're not seeing it from a man's point of view. And he needs to have a different type of discipline.
Right. You gotta give the man the opportunity
Opportunities.
to really build the relationship. It can't be, well, I want you to build like, and I think where me and my wife messed up at was
Because there's a lot of stepdad and son cool relationships. Like I see them all the time. It's just
that are great.
it's when the mom gave space and opportunity for that to naturally happen, not doing some awkward throwing both of them in the situation and shit, like having the space.
Or
But the
even,
but
or
the
even
stepdad got to be available too. Like, yo, like
right,
show up for the kid. Like
right.
that's
And
all
like
you gotta do.
and I would tell her all the time, I said, well, look, you like, well, you never built a relationship with him. I said, well, every time that I try to step in, you counteracted it with you don't gotta listen to him. He said, well, I never said that. I said, you didn't have to sit. So I'd be like, hey, your mother told you to clean your room. Oh, I said, well, look, you might want to get it done before y'all get done, before she gets home, because if she gets home and she sees, she's gonna cut all your shit off. So just matter of fact, just cut it off now and just do that. Okay, yeah, I got you. Now, would he do it? Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was the build to that relationship of like, look, you stay out of trouble, I stay out of trouble, we stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
But then it started being where I was like, you just came out the bathroom, didn't wash your hands. Why are you eating with your hand? Why you eating? Well, I always pick up a fork. So what happens when you go to somebody's house and you talk to their dad? You just gonna eat with your fingers? Well, I always do that.
Just because you always do it don't mean that's what you're
You're
supposed to do.
supposed to do right.
That's just
So
like
like,
saying always smack out. You know what I mean? Let's just,
right. So I said that to him. She says, well, I do too. And she picked hers up and started eating. I said, oh. I said, so that's the energy. Okay. So then that's when, so every time I would do something, and that's just,
all right.
that's just,
Me too.
that's just one example. But there's multiple examples of I would say something and then she would turn back around
And contradict what
and
you
contradict what I say. So I'm like, so it'll be something. I ain't worried about. I said, I'd be like, pull your pants on your ass because in my head, the way men relate to the boys is work. I was trying not to say bitches and women.
You're stupid.
In my head, because I was like,
Yeah.
because that's what it's like. Do you think some chick gonna want to talk to you, your pants sagging? Do you think somebody's dad's gonna prove that you walk into their house with your pants sagging? Do you think somebody's family's gonna prove that you're eating with your hands, or that you can't say words, or you can't do this, or you go out to a restaurant with them and you don't have this? I related to that because those are the things that people look at from men.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily she's like, well, I ain't worried about all that and him eating with his fork or his hands, and I'm trying to keep him alive and not get killed by the police.
That's not your only job and your only mission.
Right. I'm like, so you're telling me that
You're putting and she's putting respectfully speaking, she's putting y'all at a disservice because when these times come about where something could have been nipped in the bud years before, now y'all got to work extra hard to maybe not correct the situation, but get him out of a situation, change his mindset on some things. But hopefully, at some point in time, since he is 18, he starts to see like, all right, I need to, you know what I mean, do some. But who doing that at 18? Most of us ain't. Yeah,
doing that.
Yeah, most of us ain't.
He's
So
living his life.
it's gonna be tough.
We done gave him the car. He doing his own thing. She done already said she get rid of the insurance. So he gonna have to pay for his tax. Like I'm like, you done handicapped them as far as
you can't give somebody something and then be like, all right, figure it out.
right. Like you literally taking him you babied him all these years, and now you're telling him be a man. It's like you missed the whole gap there. Instead of letting me do my part, just to be like, oh well, he'll figure it out. Okay, yeah, he might figure it out.
Yeah, but
at 18,
here's the thing: when you're that age, there's been times I was like, even in my mid-20s, there would be times that I'm like, damn, I wish I would have known this sooner. I don't
right,
want to be figuring certain things out. I'm not saying I
right.
want it told to me or given to me, but I needed to have figured that out 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Especially if
oh,
somebody
this is what
already
my
has the
mom
knowledge.
meant. This is what my
Hey,
dad meant, and then you do your thing.
hey, if someone has the knowledge, then hey, look, this is what it's gonna be like out here. This is what's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah,
I get it. You want to live your life. You want to fuck bitches. You want to do all this other shit. You want to smoke your weed. You want to drink your liquor. I get it. We all been there. We all have been there. But
yeah,
here's what life is like.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I've been your age. I've been fucking bitches since God knows when, and hey, it is what it is. Look, but I found a way to get to work, get my money, get my food, fuck these bitches, and get my one night
and
stands
progress.
on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I feel like a lot of times she has handicapped him by not letting me say, "Hey, look, this is what you need to do."
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, like if we don't raise them, everything around them is raising them.
yeah,
All the music, all these things. Oh, I gotta be this, and even these little girls out here.
yeah.
They parents, oh well, and it's the weirdest thing. I forgot who said it. Somebody else said it on a different podcast. It was a guy. He said, "You raise your sons to not be tricked by these women, but you'll teach your daughters to trick the men."
not even that, but also wants the man that can be tricked. So it's just like, yo, was none of this adds up.
It doesn't add up. And then he took it a step further and was like, you'll tell because the whole tricking girl, you're teaching your daughter to trick women's thing, that was after the whole male part. But he was like, you'll tell your sons, don't spend your money on these nappy head hoes, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. But then you expect a man to do exactly what you told your son to do. Do you not think their mothers have told them the same shit, not to spend their money on no nappy head ass hoes? Like,
It don't make no sense. People just need to start being honest with themselves and leading with intention. You lead with intention, it's just like you're gonna be good to go.
look, I thought that was the funniest shit because I was just like, when he said it, I was
Those
like,
are things like to the average open-minded, intelligent person don't even need to be say it. Like we know how this goes. It's just there's a narrative trying to be pushed that like you ain't this if you ain't doing this, and I'm like, nah, that's not really how my world works. Anybody that's living in the type of world I'm living in, they understand that it costs $80 to fill up a tank sometimes. So I can't be doing yeah, so I can't just be doing certain things if we working together. Because if you were a modern woman, you also working too. It might cost you $100 to fill up yours.
exactly.
And if you really love me, we ain't doing all that superficial shit. You gonna understand the value of $1. I understand the value of $1. There is no exorbitant spending just because you
Just because
cook.
you want to spend
No,
some shit.
just because you cook and you look good, it's just like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. These are the things that you were born with. Whoop de fucking do.
That's crazy.
That's just like saying, yo, like now I need to start charging for the meat. And it's just like nobody wants to have that conversation. They need to be paying me. You know what I mean? Like
it's
what if
crazy.
the roles was reversed?
Yeah, I mean for sure because I've been sitting here and I've been now mind you I'm a thinker. I think all day of how to make things easier for myself. And a lot of times, and the funny part is, I've taken so much of the burden of the bills on the house. My wife has so much money she could just burn, and I'm like, "Why you brought this, and this?" And he returned it. Well, but then I also know she's paying for him. She's paying for this other stuff for him. I'm like, and I told her, I said,
You have more money to burn if you wanted to.
I told her, I said, if you had let me do my part. Now, mind you, I'm not gonna say that he would have been better off because that's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee he'd been better off or that he'd been more responsible. But at least he would have had a better understanding of this is what it's like being a man.
Or not even that. At least you can rest your head on. Y'all both can rest your head on. Like, yo, we did what we could do. We did what we were supposed to do. The fact that both of you guys know there's something that could have been done, I'm sure that makes y'all feel a certain type of way when certain things happen. Because you can always do everything that you're supposed to do, and it's up to God at that point. But when you know you didn't do everything you're supposed to, you like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah. Because I told her, I was like, could I have been a better stepdad? Yeah, of course. Of course. But would you have let me? Because she went, well, I don't want your, because I tell the stories about how my stepdad was. Because at the end of the day, it's what shaped me to be this responsible person who now. Now, mind you, my stepdad was not fiscally responsible. My mom was. I don't tell her that because I'd rather her think that my dad was just a horrible bad guy versus
why?
Because it's one of them things.
It works in your favor?
It works in my favor.
I got you.
But my mom, so a lot of the stuff that I do as far as like the consistency and the financial stuff, that was mom. As far as the discipline and the ideology of how things should go, that was my dad.
Yeah.
As far as
so you had it two different ways from when it comes to like responsibilities and adulthood. You got the discipline most likely from your
my mom. I got mostly from my mom.
I was gonna say your stepdad. So your mom?
Mostly from my mom. My stepdad, he did discipline, but it was very few and far. It had to be a reason that he came down. What's going on, Leo?
I mean, like as far as like learning what discipline is, not necessarily discipline.
Learning what discipline is, as far as being disciplined, I learned
being disciplined. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
From him, I learned.
And you learned the financial importance of finances from your mom.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people you learn lessons from everybody. Like even if my stepfather was a horrible person, I learned. I mean, and mind you gotta be open minded. You gotta be willing to. I learned what not to do as far as being a husband from my stepfather.
Yeah.
So you still learn. This is a matter of who you want to be. Now, if you want to, let's say my wife stayed with her son's father, and they always in their fist fighting all the other stuff because they both feisty. What kind of woman you think he's going to go look for?
Someone's mom was,
right. Someone's going to fight with him because he thinks that's normal.
Yeah.
But you got to also get out that mind frame of that certain things ain't normal. So you got to take the good for the bad.
Your normal could be normal. Is it healthy?
Right.
Because if you're normally seeing it, that is your normal.
Right.
So, but is it healthy?
Yeah. If your mama says, don't hit girls, but you see your daddy beating up on your mother and your mother throwing haymakers back at him, that doesn't mean you go find a chick who's going to go fight with you and throw haymakers with you. No, you realize I don't need to be putting my hands on women. I don't want her to feel like she has to do that.
Yeah.
And not that my stepfather ever put his hands on my mother, which I mean he has, but I've only seen it maybe once or twice. It wasn't a regular occurrence, but I knew that once, and my mom once I got married, my mom told me like, well, he's done it more than once. And all them days you saw him sleeping on the sofas because I pulled a knife out on him and said, I'll stab your ass right here.
Oh, jeez.
So it taught me that there's no need for me putting my hands on my wife. If I feel like that she's pissed me off that much or I got that angry about it, that I just need to walk away. But like, you know what?
Yeah.
Conversation stay right over here.
Yeah.
When we're ready to sit down and talk and really talk this through, we can sit down and talk this shit through. But other than that, I don't feel the need to ever put my hands on my wife.
Yeah.
At all. Now, do I visualize in my head that I strangle her to death? Yes, of course. But that's one of those things in the moment. I'm thinking like, but that comes with being a thinker of thinking through it, like instead of just reacting to it. And I think that's where a lot of us fail at is we react to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife gets so mad when I don't react to her. And I said, well, it just made me mad that you didn't say nothing. I said, well, if I react and said, bitch, shut the fuck up, or at least I'd have known something. I said, you said that today.
Eric, yo,
Well,
I've
let
had
me say it to you tomorrow.
I had a yeah, right. I had a girl that says the same exact shit. I was like, I can't be with this bitch because it's kind of like, yo, what do you mean? At least I would have known how you felt. Like I told you how I felt. I just didn't say, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Right.
I treated you with respect because I ain't call you out your name and all this other shit, and I don't feel the need to be elevated with you. But
Right.
the only thing you respond to when you like that is higher elevation.
Right.
And I'm just like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Like I'm not in the business of having makeup sex because we done talk so much shit to each other that we're just having this vigorous.
Nah, all that's doing is confirming that you get to say that, you get to say that, and this is the end result. I don't want my life to be that. So
So I told her, I said, and she's like, well, you always wait a day or you take your time and think. I said, because I mean,
I take my time and think, oh, whoop de
I
doo,
said,
man.
because it takes us nowhere if I'm reacting with the same energy that you're reacting with.
Yeah,
It takes us nowhere.
as men, we gotta be able to de-escalate situations,
Right.
even if we cause them.
Yeah.
Even if we cause them, we gotta be able to de-escalate because some of this shit ain't worth the. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't mean it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Especially if you don't mean it.
They don't see it that way. And of all things I've seen on tonight's conversation, and I'm gonna stop here. I might. I don't know. It depends on how you cut me off. But a lot of women, and it's one things that I think he said that was right. The guy who actually runs the show, he's the one that he's
Yeah.
the one that's still on there. But he was like a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of people think that marriage is the end result or is the end result of a relationship versus the starting point. And I was like, I agree with that because women will say out their mouth all the time, "Oh, I want to get married. I want to get married again." I don't see too many niggas out here saying they want to get married, but I know there's niggas out here saying they want to get married.
I think more or less they say they want a family.
Right. They want a family. But you got women, I want to be married, but not understanding what comes with that. What comes with that is you're going to go through trials and tribulations. You're going to go through rich shit. You're going to go through poor shit. You're going to go through I hate you, I love you, you're sick, you're dying, you're healthy. You're going to go through all these things in a cycle multiple times. And I think a lot of times when and I only can speak from one perspective because I've only seen women really divorce since the divorce rate is so high coming from women. A lot of times it's not what I thought it was going to be. And I even heard some women say that, oh yeah, he made really good money, but I didn't think he wasn't as ambitious as he could have been. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if he's making six figures, not low six figures where he's just making 100,000, but he's making 200, 300,000.
Yeah.
What more ambition does he need? Like what? Like you just sound unpleasable at sometimes.
I'm gonna say this one statement that's gonna wrap up the shorty that wanna tell the new fiance about the diamond ring. I mean the diamond in the ring and what you're saying.
Mhm.
When it all comes down to it, what it all comes down to is that sometimes women just be bored. Some women just be bored. They need some excitement and they need some drama. And sometimes they don't even know, certain women, they don't even know that they're even self-sabotaging and doing it to themselves.
Right.
That is the reason why. Because how else do you explain, oh, he's not as ambitious? You want to see something, you got it. No, it's not even you want a reason to get out. You want what you see, but you don't know that you got what you already seeing.
Mm-hmm.
You're bored. You don't know what to do with yourself because there's no way. And shorty with the ring is bored too, and being petty because y'all been separated for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, that's what she wrote. And divorced for 2. There's no reason for you to be in that man business. So stay out that man business, and collectively we just all got to work on our relationships. And
yeah, very much.
And we thank everybody for tuning in, and talk to y'all next time.